Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California, here today with the first of 3 sequences to help you get into hanumanasana, your splits. Keep in mind, splits is something you're meant to do after you are really, really warm. So, a couple things. I put together a free PDF that shows how to sequence your own classes so that you can put together classes and insert this in the splits part. Email me if you would like to get a copy of that. You could find me through my website. Second, if you don't want to think that much, my Vimeo channels will get you full-length classes that build the flexibility, balance, and strength, not just to get you into splits, but into everything that I teach here on YouTube. Okay, let's get started. So again, assuming that you're fully warmed up, we'll come into a low lunge with the right leg in front, okay? So it's fingertips down. You want to have a nice long spine and maintaining your knee approximately over your ankle. Move the back leg, the left leg, as far back as it will go. Once you get that far, untuck your toes and think about your thighs hugging inwards, okay? Because what that hugging in action is going to do is actually simultaneously pull the right hip back, pull the left hip forward, and help to square your hips. Now, I'm on my fingertips because I want a high spine. It doesn't matter if you can reach the floor, that collapses your spine. So we're going to take at least 5 breaths here, okay? So a nice, low, deep lunge. And what we're doing here actually is isolating the back leg of a split, okay? So right now, my left leg is actually already doing the work of the split. Now again, I'm assuming you're really, really warm. After at least 5 breaths, shift your body weight backwards, flex your front foot. Now for most people, in order to keep the back hip over the knee, this front foot will probably have to move forward maybe an inch. Same work of squaring the hips, which is to say right hip back, left hip forward, thighs hug in. Front leg is straight and spine is long, okay? Now if you need blocks under your leg, that's completely fine. Put blocks under your leg to support it, this leg. If you're okay, you walk forward, maintaining the length in your spine, and ultimately we're looking for forearms on the floor, long spine, and if anything comes down to the leg, it's not your forehead, but your chin. Again, minimum 5 breaths. And if you're astute, you'll see that now what I'm working is I'm isolating the front leg of a split. So I bet you could guess what comes next. From here, coming back into like a basic lunge, we're going to put the work of the back leg together with the work of the front leg. Now, if you're tighter, grab a block, grab 2 blocks, grab 3 blocks, it doesn't matter. Put them under that front leg. Check out my hanumanasana video if you need help with that. But from here, you're going to slide this foot forward. Now, if you don't have blocks, what I want you to think about is it's okay for the back knee to be bent because the back knee should be on the floor, but the front leg is straight on this one. If you can, you slide as far forward as you can into full Hanuman. Now, once I'm in Hanuman, I really like to try to square my hips. It's sort of hard. So the easiest way to do it is tuck your back toes under, lift a little bit and sort of, you see how I sort of press my left hip forward and that my back knee is pointing straight down. It's not sideways like this. Super important. Once I get into that fully square position, I untuck the toes, trying to move my thighs midline and take my breaths.
Okay, so again, we're talking a minimum of 5 deep breaths. Okay, now to switch sides, just tuck your back toes under. Okay, we're gonna pass basically through a downward facing dog. So lift up so you're in like a high split if you weren't already there. Make sure your foot slides in a little, basically so you don't take your whole yoga mat with you. And you're just gonna pull through to downward facing dog. Give that leg a little bit of opening for a moment. Doesn't need a lot. And then take it down and we'll switch sides, okay? So it's left leg forward. Okay, I drop my back knee down. We're gonna do the same exact thing. So fingertips, chest is high, right? Left hip is pulling back, right hip is pulling forward. Now, if you ever don't remember which one needs to go forward, which one needs to go back, the one that's forward needs to be pulled backwards, right? The one that's forward is pulling too far forward. Doesn't that make sense? The one that's back needs to move forward. It's too far back. Okay, so thighs are hugging in. And the goal here, honestly, is just like, what's the lowest you could get your hips? Okay, notice again, I'm directly on top of this back knee because it is doing the back leg half of hanumanasana. Okay? I'm not really timing this so much, so you could time this on your own once you understand the sequence. We'll go into the second side. So I shift my hips backwards, right? So my hip is over my knee. Flexing the front foot, I move it forward about an inch, not too far, because I do want my hip basically over my knee. Again, it's left hip back, right hip forward, thighs squeeze midline. Spine is long, so I'm on my fingertips, and now I'm working the front half of the split. Okay, so if you're okay, you walk forward. Now, it doesn't matter if you could get all the way down to the floor. Maybe you go this far, but don't round your back, okay? Remember that every forward bend in yoga has an element of a back bend, with the exception of Uttanasana. And then we fold forward. Wherever you are, just take some breaths, hugging those thighs midline. Okay, so we did the front, we did the back. Now we make the Reese's peanut butter cup out of it all. So two great tastes that taste great together. I come down, slide my foot forward as far as I can. Again, maybe there's blocks under there. I take my back toes, tuck them, push the the right hip forward, hug your thighs in, untuck your back toes. I'm just going to move a little bit more midline here. And we're in our Hanuman. Again, if you have one block under your legs, fine. You have 2 blocks under your front leg, fine. 3 blocks, fine. It doesn't matter. But front leg is straight and front toes are, or front foot, I should say, is flexing. Super important, okay? Over time, you'll get deeper, but you'll only get deeper if you're willing to go deeper. You have to always be working to and pushing on your edge if you really want to get more flexible instead of plateauing. Okay, so to come out, remember I tuck my back toes, I lift up a bit, get my hands in place. We're just gonna slide that leg back into a quick down dog with the leg high for a moment and down. Wanna know what comes next? Again, email me for my free PDF so you know exactly how to structure your home practice from beginning to end. You can reach me at Shana at YOGAthletica.com. If you have to do a little research to figure out how to spell all those words, do the research. Even better, subscribe to my Vimeo channels of classes to help you get into every single pose you have ever dreamed of. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica, wishing that all your dreams come true. Namaste.